Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, Campaign Diaries, Episode 4, January 21st, 2021. Where last we left our heroes, they were in Targos and had just captured a Chewinga. They were late, or actually early in the afternoon, but late in the daylight hours, going to travel back to the town of Bremen to deliver the Chewinga, this little ice elemental, back to the Red Wizard Dazan, as he had asked them to. They travel back. They are not accosted by anything on the road back, but night falls because day only lasts 4 hours in Icewind Dale. And they make it back to Bremen. They head to the Buried Treasures Inn where Cora seemingly had just been crying. She lets them know that Dazan is back in his room studying, as wizards will do. The characters go back and forth as to whether or not we should hand over the Chewinga, which is now bonded with Bumble, our Goliath druid. They were playful on the road back. It was casting guidance pretty frequently so that Bumble could see a little bit better. The Chewinga had bestowed upon Bumble the Liamon's Tiny Hut blessing, where it gets 3 uses of Liamon's Tiny Hut, which is very useful here in the Dale. They finally acquiesce. They talk back and forth. They decide, okay, you know what? Yeah, Dazan, he's a scholar. He wants to study it for the good of the realm. They hand over the Chewinga. Dazan pays very handsomely for this opportunity to study. He says, please leave me alone. If you want more information, if you need to find me again, my main study's back in East Haven. You can find me there. He studies for a little bit, and they hear like kind of a shudder, and he's gone. Must have teleported somewhere, and Guba, the goblin artificer, finds a little piece of chalk on the ground, and she picks it up. So now it's nightfall, and it's the new moon tonight. The town of Bremen sacrifices warmth on the new moon. That doesn't sound very good. No fires are lit. It's going to be very cold in the town. Vladraxian, the drow barbarian, decides that he would like to go talk with the townspeaker to see why do you do this? This seems like a stupid idea. So they go to town hall. They meet Dorbalgruff Shalescar, who is the senile dwarven townspeaker of Bremen, and his niece Philomena, seems to be his caretaker, and she's struggling and she's weary, and they talk for a while, and eventually Drax realizes that he's not going to be able to convince the people of Bremen to stop sacrificing warmth on the new moon. They think that, at the very least, worse things will start happening if they don't make these sacrifices to the Frostmaiden every new moon. So he just accepts it. But due to their weariness and the speaker keep on trying to abscond, Drax, who is a barbarian, casts sleep and mercifully allows these very weary dwarves to fall asleep. They then decide to go travel out into the tundra wilderness in the middle of the night, following after some of these lights that have popped up over on the horizon. On their way there, they encounter a snowy owlbear. And at first, some of them want to fight because they've encroached on this owlbear's territory. It looks aggressive. It's coming on to them. Drax, who has a certain secret, decides to pull out a piece of meat and throw it at the owlbear, and the owlbear accepts it. They keep on talking a little bit more, and suddenly, all of a sudden, this ravenous, angry, large beast has become friendly. They decide to travel along with it a little bit more as they follow the lights here at night. They get a little bit closer, and it seems to be there's an undead beacon of light that's traveling along at night. Guba, the goblin artificer, realizes this. This is a cold light walker. They didn't used to be here in the Dale. But more recently, they've popped up. Um, Guba believes that these are the corpses of the sacrificed uh, bodies from the larger towns that do their sacrifices every new moon, and they become these horrible undead things that Oriel has empowered to bring more souls to her cause. Sad. Uh, Wisely, probably, they decide to back away as this emits very bright light and there's a drow in the party. Um, they utilize the blessing that was bestowed upon Bumble, the Goliath druid, and she casts Liamon's tiny hut. And they actually have a relatively pleasant evening in a 70-degree weather, whereas the rest, I mean, it's like 130 degrees warmer in this Liam's tiny hut compared to what they were just experiencing. This is a very nice evening's snooze. They wake up, they decide to head back to Targos. Well rested, they're not accosted. They leave the owlbear in its cave. Oh god, they named the owlbear Harry Houdini because it hooted. And Guba didn't call it running away from the Cold Light Walker, but with Guba's artificer intelligence, called it tactical retreating. So those are flavorful moments. They make it into on Kythorn the First. They make it back to Targos, where they are set upon by a sled dog who leads them to the house of a man named Keegan, who has let the party know that his husband Garrett was a guide who was going to bring a adventuring party up the mountain of Calvin's Cairn. Boy, who was the most loyal of all of his sled dogs, would not have left him and run clear across Icewind Dale, yelling that Master must be in trouble. This is bad, and so they were given the quest to go seek out Garrett's husband Keegan. Keegan's husband Garrett on Calvin's Cairn. Keegan will very happily offer up some of his scrimshanding if Garrett is returned to him. They then decide to go over to Triglio's, the general store in town. It's a much larger town than Bremen, and it has much better provisions, and they do very good shopping and bartering, and they learn a song here at Triglio's, which goes, Triglio, lads, an oyster upon the line, Triglio, lads, you bring your fishers in. A nice little old shanty that the scarecrow-like Justin Hunray has let them know. They buy various provisions. Some people buy some cold weather gear. Some people buy some weapons. Some people buy other items like flasks of oil or tents or flasks, empty flasks. What in the world would an artificer need with empty flasks? I don't know which way he's going to go. The Barbarian traded in some holy water for a scimitar, so now he has 2 scimitars. Adrasteia the rogue put in for a little bit more money so that the Barbarian could have a great axe, which feels right. The druid bought some tents and some cold weather gear because she's not stupid and she knows that fighting the beasties might bring death, but the elements themselves might bring death too. And with that, it's 11 a.m. on the 1st of Kythorn in the new month. It remains winter in Icewind Dale, and we'll see what happens next time.